brands are acting more and more like humans on social media. In fact, we've got to the point where we're seeing official company accounts sharing feelings of anxiety, anger, and sometimes taking the piss. Its official title is parasocial interaction. This is the psychological relationship between the audience and mass media. In this episode, we discuss where it all began, discuss some funny examples, question whether some of the brands have taken it too far, and decide whether it's actually a successful marketing method you can use in your own business.
I want to talk about this tweet. For those who missed it, a passenger tweeted a picture from Ryanair flight with the caption, "Seriously, Ryanair, I paid for the window seat." And she sat next to the door with a tiny hole for a window. The Ryanair Twitter account then replied, and they'd circled the small hole, implying that was the window. Now, the post got over 600,000 likes, and like most things on the internet, opinion was split. Some found it funny, others described it as unprofessional. What I'd like to know is, do you think this kind of brand humanization through social accounts can work?
Well, first things first, that tweet is a joke. The person posting it originally is joking because they've actually paid for extra legroom. They've got what they paid for. It's just a humorous observation that if it was a window seat, it's small, right? And I think that's impacted how Ryanair have actually responded to that. If it was a genuine complaint of someone that paid for a window seat and got that, I don't think they would have responded in the same way.
They do respond in the same way. So if you look at through Ryanair's Twitter account, like if someone complains they've got no leg room, they do like take it on the chin.
Yeah, they do.
Like,
but I'm a big fan of that. Listen, Ryanair's, it's a shit airline. It stinks of piss, right? but it's cheap. And if they go, I think their tagline should be something like, "We stink of piss, but you'll still fly with us." Because it's cheap. And I will still fly with them. I fucking hate Ryanair. There's no leg room. It's horrible. The seats are cheap. The people on there are knobs.
They're not going to lose clients.
But if I can pay 30 quid to get to Bulgaria and go and, have a piss up with the lads, I'm going to do it. I think actually taking that approach and having that human voice and just not giving a shit and giving people stick when they give you stick will actually create quite a good brand and one that it's actually going to be have more of a positive effect for them than it will a negative effect. They've already got a negative effect. So we've been going around brands at the minute going, own your shit. Don't just pretend you're all shiny and you're better than everybody else because you're not. No one is. Everyone's got the flaws. Everybody's product's got the flaws. And chances are your customers know about the flaws as well. So if you own it, there's not really much people can say.
Yeah.
If you don't own it, people are going to keep complaining and it makes you, eventually it'll, damage your brand. So
I saw a post on LinkedIn about this very post and I got into it with a couple of people on there and they were saying like, this is going to do more harm to Ryanair than good. And I couldn't, and this isn't good marketing, it's really bad for the brand. I couldn't disagree more. It will do absolutely zero harm. But then I just thought, but why is everyone taking this seriously when it is a joke? But I think it has zero impact. The people that aren't going to fly Ryanair aren't going to fly Ryanair. They don't fly Ryanair anyway. So they're not actually turning off anybody that would fly them. You just, literally like you said, I look for Ryanair, Jet2 and EasyJet. Which one gets me to the place cheapest and isn't going to double my price when you start adding bags? That's it.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, we all love moaning about shit stuff, but we still use it. It's the reality of it. Like Ryanair aren't asked. Anyone who thinks that's bad marketing doesn't really understand marketing.
And also, they're replying to somebody else's as well. So it's not even that they've not done this first. They've just responded to somebody.
Yeah.
What I have got a problem with these brands trying to be humanized is when it's all the big brands, when it's like, remember the beans on Weetabix and shit like that? And I've just got this idea that they're all just sat in the same Shoreditch marketing agency, all sat around the same company, all sat around the same table, and they think it's like, well, I'll reply to you, you pretend and you're the Jaffa Cake guy and you're the whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the reason they get it wrong is because they're so detached from reality. They're so detached from your every man and every woman and every whatever you identify as, right? A lot of these people are so detached. A lot of these big brands are so detached from what's actually going on in the real world. So you've got a load of marketing execs sat in a room who are middle class, shot through uni, probably don't understand the mass market as well as they think they do, and all their kind of banter and their attempts at appealing to them just fall flat.
Yeah.
Whereas I honestly think that Ryanair's marketing team He's probably just a couple of scroats in a room, getting paid 10 grand each, and they're just giving people shit online. I think that's it. If you want to give people shit properly, and you really want to get down with the every man and every woman and every other person, you've got to hire people who can relate to them.
Do you know what I think the best Ryanair tweet I've seen this year is? Do you remember when Prince William was accused of having a mistress that he gets pegged by?
Yeah,
and the maddest thing was, so Prince William, turns out he's got a mistress that pegs him because that's what he's into, and I think his missus won't do that to him.
And is this true?
Well, I mean, I don't know how true it is. I wasn't there, but it's just the rumor that goes around. Anyway,
hoax.
Ryanair did a picture of some seats with 2 arms down and the middle arm up. And that's been my favourite tweet of the year that Ryanair has done for just jumping in. And it said, Prince William, we've got a seat for you.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So they've obviously been given some freedom to bring humour. One of the points I had was, are we seeing this type of humanising because social teams and marketers are getting a bit more freedom within their brands?
It probably is, but it's also because people aren't getting results anymore. So all this fucking making everything look like it's shiny just doesn't sell. Because you know what? There's a million and one other businesses that are trying to do the same. So it doesn't make you stand out. So people are desperate now. Any brand can do it, but it's also very easy to get wrong. And there's a big difference between speaking like a human and being relatable to your target audience and going too far. And a lot of the time we find brands that go too far, and then other times we find brands that just can't get their heads around it, and they remain corporate and get the same results.
So how do you protect yourself from going too far? Or is it you just put the stuff out there and you find out if it was too far by the reaction?
You've got to test. Yeah, it's just testing. Just testing. We've got it wrong loads and loads of times. My Theresa May CV nearly ended my career. I know that's my boundary now. I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
But I guess, Dan, you've made the point before that people have got short memory spans, right? So you can get these things wrong and recover quite quickly.
They do, yeah. We call them forgetful fucks. You know, it's the same reason we people are still think Tiger Woods is this amazing person despite him putting his dick in everything since God knows when. People forget about stuff when it suits them. It's the same thing with the H&M and the cheeky little monkey T-shirt. People always forget about things. If they see a new dress on H&M that they like, they've forgotten about the fact that they've made a racist blunder.
Yeah.
It's the same with anything. You've got to test stuff.
I agree. I feel like this is a new way of them just making you forget that they're a brand at all.
Yeah.
So like,
you mean Nike, Ryanair, or just brands that follow this kind of way?
Yeah, that use this. Yeah. Like, why would they talk like human? It seems a bit weird because it's like, why am I listening to like Weatherspoons talk about how they feel? I mean, Chris, I guess you've got the origins of where this came from, haven't you?
So I did a bit of research, and it basically started off with the Denny's Tumblr account, 2013. They basically started sharing memes and replying to people's comments in a human way. Yeah. And then what happened after that? Then brands kind of cottoned on. And you started to get McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King all having like beef on Twitter, WWE style trash talk. There's another one from Burger King replying to Kanye West.
Yeah, that's
about McDonald's.
Yeah.
This was then the rise of people replying with the meme silence brand. So people were realizing that these corporations are trying to talk like humans. Really, they're a big corporation that want to make money off you.
Yeah,
they're not a human.
But my argument would be so there's a big difference. This might be again where people are getting it wrong. There's a big difference between trying to speak like someone and them seeing through it, right? And there's a big difference between being who you are and being honest. So if you're a brand and if you do actual adverts that say, yeah, we're trying to sell this to you, we need more money. Remember that, what was it that put that ad up? And it was like, we need to hit our sales targets this month, was it?
Oh, I can't remember.
What do you remember what that brand was?
We should know, shouldn't we?
Yeah, we should. Yeah, I can't remember who it was.
What was it? You can have a quick look if you want.
It's like your one, want to buy a watch?
Basically, want to buy a watch, or buy a watch if you want. Yeah, because it's more about being honest and transparent and then speaking in a way that's relatable to them. So that just looks like you're speaking to another person. You're not trying to mimic me. It's just like, this is me. I'm a standalone thing, and this is who I am. And I want to make money off you, so buy shit.
I guess we've got to the point where brands like Sunny D are posting that they're depressed. Did you see that one?
Yeah, so a couple of examples.
That's mental.
It's mad, isn't it?
But there's a...
Sunny D's posted that he's depressed.
I'd take it back. That's mental.
So you're a brand, you're not depressed. So
but that's the difference. Now, so it's not about humanising the brand just for the sake of it. It's about being honest and transparent. That's a huge fucking difference, and that's what they're getting wrong.
And I guess humanizing it is all those things, though, isn't it? It's anxiety, depression, fear, being snarky, being pissed off.
I mean, so better. Sonny D should be tweeting like, "We're a sugary drink. Don't give it your kids at night."
Yeah,
It'll make you.
we don't make your kids orange anymore.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. But people, if you're that honest, and people think that will harm brands, it won't. People go, yeah. But at least they're honest.
They're trying to appeal to people that no one really would follow Sonny D on Twitter, right? No. What's the point? No. But if they're tweeting like a normal person, and you're more likely to follow someone that's going to be a bit of beef between McDonald's and Burger King. Yeah. Sonny D's tweeting, and other people are tweeting back as a normal person.
These are the ones I hate, where I just think they've got to be the same marketing. So take Moon Pie there. I don't know what Moon Pie is.
Yeah.
Why have they responded? Is there some link? Are they owned by the same umbrella company? This is what that's what I think.
They will be as well, but it's not really achieving anything. What drives me insane as well, particularly on LinkedIn, is the marketing industry. People in the marketing industry wanking off big brands for doing a semi-witty tweet. That's not good marketing. That's just you've got someone who's witty. You can be witty now and again.
It's not even
KFC,
witty, though, is it?
KFC, no, it's not. KFC doing 2 semi-witty tweets. Actually, I'll because we just nearly signed them as a client. Yeah. McDonald's doing 2 semi-witty.
We'll stop and then you can go. We'll go again from McDonald's.
I think that could be good beeped though.
No, you can keep it in. I'm not, right, but McDonald's doing 2 semi-witty tweets a year is not good fucking marketing. That's not good marketing. Stop wanking them off.
Do even brands like maybe I've lost the plot here with what I'm about to say, but do brands like McDonald's need to even do marketing on Twitter? Do they?
They've got to stay relevant, I guess. Haven't they?
But do you know what I mean? Like, who's going? Oh, I've just seen that tweet by McDonald's. I'm going to go and buy a McDonald's. Like, it's kind of. I think brands, when they get to that level, kids are eating at McDonald's forever, right? Why are they on Twitter?
They're not doing this on any other platform, right? They're just doing it on Twitter. Yeah. This is where people
it's just the evolution of where people are, right? Yeah. So they used to have Ronald McDonald because he was based on Bobo the Clown to get kids to eat fatty foods, and now it's the kids are on social media, so they've got to have a presence.
So I don't know. So if McDonald's got like a TikTok and if McDonald's got like an Instagram,
they will have,
yeah.
Each store has their own TikTok. McDonald's
depends if they're a franchise.
That's in most. A lot of big companies are the same with that.
That blows my mind.
You don't see that Superdrug thing? The 2 girls they always act on TikTok.
Oh no,
it's shy, but it's hilarious.
Oh, I really need a Father's Day gift for this Sunday. What am I going to get?
Well, we've got the Fizzy Duck for £5, the Hugo Boss for £38, and the Versace for £21.
Oh, I think I'll take them all. What a good deal.
There's another one about brands kind of trying to humanize themselves. And it was an example with Chase Bank sharing a meme, and they're known for really bad kind of fees to make you go in your overdraft and stuff, but they're tweeting stuff like that, and it just like feels like they're massively out of touch. They're trying to be playing to the meme crowd, the Gen Z crowd, but that just doesn't sit right to me, to be honest.
I guess that goes back to Dan's earlier point. Like, you've got to fit your established brand and your voice.
It's not. That's not them though. So I'm not looking at that going, "Oh, that's you." If Chase Bank were going, we fucked up people's lives with PPI. I mean, I don't know, is that an American bank or?
They're an American bank. Right, so they're in the UK now, though.
But they fucked some people's lives up somehow, and they were honest about it and gone, but here's how we're doing better. That'd be more relatable because I go, you have, but fair enough. You're gonna try something that's different and try and be better. Yeah. Not, I'm gonna make shit memes because they're always half-baked memes as well. They're not actually funny because they can never go far enough to make a good meme.
Do you think it depends on your target audience as well?
Yeah. Yes. It's got to, hasn't it?
It does.
Because I mean, take some of the other accounts I've seen that have gone a bit too far. I don't think Chase Bank could say some of the things that Ty Lopez company could say.
Yeah. So if we talk about when brands go, I guess, what we consider too far, there's another Twitter account that's taken this style of posting to the extreme. Yeah. So Radio Shack, American High Street Electronics Store, I guess the UK equivalent would be something like Curry's. Now, out of the blue, their Twitter account goes dark and they tweet, "If you find a squirter, marry her," right? So people's heads fall off because they're like, why is, in the equivalent, Curry's now posting this type of stuff? The account goes viral. Everyone's talking about them. Turns out Radio Shack have filed for bankruptcy and it's been taken over by this company called Retail E-Commerce Ventures. Their executive chairman is Ty Lopez, who we know and is featured on the Entrepreneur Bingo.
Yeah.
But I'm a businessman.
And he's relaunched it as a cryptocurrency. So the coin is called Radio, hence the crazy tweets.
Well, how was that? What's that got to do with?
I think
what's
just
the
think
purpose of that?
he just
To go
wanted
viral.
pure
Just
people just to
viral.
find out about the account, think what the fuck's going on there, and then by the way, we're now a crypto
I
coin.
suppose it's worth.
There'll be like a meme coin, or they're playing into that meme culture of meme coins doing well.
I suppose that's worth. I mean, it's mental, but I suppose if it's got the attention he wants.
What's a squirter anyway? I don't get it.
Pull up the VT.
Do you guys remember when Burger King did the International Women's Day tweet? So this was this tweet.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I do.
It was followed something
I
with.
actually thought that was good.
Yeah.
I get what they're saying, right?
It was followed with a tweet that was all about gender ratio,
See,
which made sense.
That's clever.
I think that's good, but I got that without the explanation. Like I get what they're doing, right? Because having worked in McDonald's, most of the people in the kitchen are male, right?
Yeah.
And the women got jobs like doing front of house jobs.
Yeah.
But there was no reason why they shouldn't be in the kitchen. But it was seen as like a more manly, more dangerous job. You know, it's the heat in there and it's fast paced. So saying women belong in the kitchen, having worked in fast food, like I get what they mean, especially on that day. I reckon some people's heads would have fell off just reading that if it didn't have the explanation tweets underneath.
That would have been part of the strategy, though. That's part
Of course.
Yeah.
But I think that's the best type.
It's all about
right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
What was interesting with that one, that tweet got deleted, right?
Yeah, so it was all about it kind of understanding Twitter as a platform. Like, you know that could be taken out of context by a retweet. So the majority of retweets were from kind of like the alt-right, thinking that was the only statement they gave and not understanding it was about International Women's Day.
Right, so we went a bit south.
On Twitter, this doesn't work, I don't think.
Yeah,
and every other platform, when you got it as a print ad
it'd
or
be
whatever,
a good job ad
potentially
with
work.
the explanation on the same ad.
Yeah.
But if it's a thread and you're having to look elsewhere for what they actually mean, then that's probably not good. But, that as a statement piece on the job ad and then in smaller text, the explanation of it would have been a brilliant.
This is interesting that you say this because what you're saying there was kind of what I disagreed with on that Ryanair tweet on LinkedIn. So the guy was saying Ryanair are taking the piss out of someone that's paid for something, they've ripped someone off, they expected a window seat, they've not got it. And I went and said, they've not paid for a window seat. Here's what seat that is. It's advertised. So I actually got a screenshot of and said it's extra legroom. And he said, marketing shouldn't have to involve people having previous knowledge or having to think of the context of what that thing is. And I was thinking, but why shouldn't it? Because you can't account for, what would you call them? I'm trying to find a nice name, like lowest common denominator.
I feel like none of us
bottom set people,
I feel like none of us have got the right words today.
you know what I mean? Like you can't account for stupid, right? So when you're doing marketing, you can't think, there might be one person that doesn't get the reference here, so I can't put that thing out because it relies on some sort of life experience or point of reference or context. Like that to me doesn't need context, so it could go out as it was. You can't account for, or like the fact that they deleted it. I actually bothered me more because I think like, but why have they deleted it? Just because some fuckwits didn't get it? There will always be that fuckwit, right? And it's mad that a brand like Burger King, even with all the stuff that explains it, and if you look at the timings as well, they've explained it afterwards. So like one's 9 hours, one's 2 hours later, and they're still doing this. It's almost like they shouldn't even have to do that. But I get what you mean because people can take it out of context, but that's because people are thick, right?
Yeah.
It got us talking about, I guess, PR disasters in general, and how you kind of recover.
So would you have said that was a PR disaster? That tweet?
But it got a lot of bad press.
Yeah. The only way you know if it's a PR disaster is if it affected sales, share price, shit like that. So we don't know the actual results behind it. It's like when people go, I know I was slagging off going, McDonald's tweeting twice a year is shit marketing. I don't actually know, it might be good marketing.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, it was quite funny with this one because KFC weirdly was talking about brands getting involved. KFC Gaming replied with the best time to delete this Twitter post was immediately after posting. The second time is now, and they kind of doubled down, explaining that this is raising more awareness, etc. 3 hours later, they deleted the tweet. So stick to your guns if you're going to say that. But
Chris, you liked the Walker's Crisp example, didn't you?
Yeah,
disaster's gone wrong.
Yeah, so this was a campaign. So this was a campaign that Walker's ran in 2017. It was about how you could, if you tweeted a selfie on their Twitter account, it would auto generate a video, and you'd have the chance to win tickets to the Champions League final. Okay. And obviously, the kind of rule to this story is don't let the public control your brand, because these tweets were going straight out live to on the Walkers Twitter. So anything that was posted that it recognised the face, you couldn't put a knob on there.
Do
right?
they not know the British public?
Exactly. And a lot of brands have fallen into this, but I think this is the one that stuck out for me. So this is this is the kind of stuff this is the kind of stuff that people submitted.
Thanks for joining the Walkers Wave and celebrating the UEFA Champions League final. Nice selfie. Here you are, uniting with other fans outside the National Stadium of Wales. Thanks for joining the Walkers Wave and celebrating the UEFA Champions League final. Nice selfie. Thanks for joining the Walkers Wave and celebrating the UEFA Champions League final. Nice selfie.
What happened with that as well is they also had a 30-foot screen outside the Cardiff City Stadium that would automatically play those every time they would submit.
Nice.
So, massive fail.
What's mad about this is, like with most things, people just wreck it. No matter, best laid plans are always wrecked by a dickhead. And it can be like, can't everyone just be sound and just be sensible and just be nice?
Especially the British public.
But we can't, can we?
Yeah.
I saw a lot when, during COVID and stuff, there might have been fans that had died, and you could submit fans that had died and it get put on the screen in the stadium. And there were loads, like Mike Hunt was in there and Mike Crotch and all these different things where just people making shit up. Even was it Osama bin Laden was in one of them?
That was Leeds United during COVID.
Yeah,
he was on the front row.
Front row. They put fake fans in, and Osama bin Laden's just sat there in the front row because people just...
To go back to what Gary Lineker actually replied, that's it. Had an unusual day in with some very strange company. I'm sure we'll wave them all goodbye tomorrow, and then they deleted the thread in the morning. Right, so it was gone. So they kind of laughed it off.
Yeah. Well, at least they owned it.
I guess in summary, going back to the Ryanair tweet, it worked for them because that's kind of their brand anyway.
Yeah.
What are we saying for other brands?
If you are like a serious brand and it doesn't suit it, you wouldn't want the NHS making jokes. Oh, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Half price beds, lol.
There's a way of there's a way of making yourself more human, but it's just about more being honest and transparent. That's what I think it is, and it's not just, like I say, not every brand is or can be funny.
That's it for this episode. We're continuing the chat over in our private Slack group, where we'll be answering your specific questions about business, sales, marketing, and anything in between. If you want to join, you can sign up for free by clicking the link in the description. Special thanks to Sophie and Zoe for joining us today, and we'll include links to their socials in the description below so you can connect with them. And finally, if you enjoyed the chat, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and leave a like on this video.